What is up? Welcome to the Stat Guy Show, episode number 56. Joining me tonight is a friend of mine and the Stat Guy Rookie of the Year, Mr. Nate Sayler. How you doing, man?
Good, sir. How are you?
Good, good. Hey, real quick, I didn't put my phone on do not disturb. So let me do that quick.
Oh, neither
My
did
first,
I. How do you do that?
my first time here. I should
Hold
have
on.
remembered that.
Hold on. I'm gonna do mine.
Don't need any phone calls coming in.
I don't know how to do that, so
Okay.
we'll
So what's
ignore
up, man? What's
them.
going on? Are you happy to be in the off season now and not grinding week after week?
Yeah, it's never really off season with drag racing. You're just preparing for the next race every time. So we're getting all set up for 2024, getting the car all refreshed. The old girl worked her butt off and needed a paint job, so she's up at Larry's right now getting fixed up and engine getting freshened over at Proline and quick performance going through the rear end, M&M going through the tranny. Like we're just doing all the things.
Yeah, I think I got a picture right here of it actually.
Yeah, that's the old girl right there. She needed
Are
a
you
new
getting?
front end.
Did I lose you? Oh no,
Nope.
you're still there.
Yep.
Sorry, I was switching between the screen and the thing. I'm gonna put that back up. So, are you getting any chassis work or anything done?
When
To her?
it's no, well, they're fixing the stuff that I screwed up in steel. So when
Okay.
we were at steel, the front end got hit, and when the car was trying to roll over, it was trying to barrel roll going down the track, and it was coming up on the headers and the rocker panel, and it just screwed stuff up. I'm surprised it ran so good after that, to be honest with you. So
Yeah.
we are getting all of that stuff fixed, and she's getting same paint job, but just getting a new paint. The old girl worked her butt off. She deserved it. So
Yeah. Speaking of the paint job, when you smashed up the front clip there, I would say like you guys with the duct tape. I don't know how you got like matching gray duct tape and even and even the red line too. That was a nice touch. It is
what's
from
funny
far
about
away you
that?
couldn't tell.
Yeah, from like it was good from far, but far from good.
Yeah.
But up close, the duct tape was actually black, but the car is so dark it looked gray, and so
Yeah.
it actually matched pretty good. And then the red duct tape, Ryan actually had it for I think for their pit mat or something. So we were like, well, it looks red in some of the pictures. It is actually burnt orange.
Oh,
It
really? Oh,
yeah,
wow.
it's orange in the sunlight, but it I mean the red from a distance it looked good. For
Yeah, yeah,
the
you couldn't.
for the pictures, it looked good. Anyways, you can't hardly tell.
Yeah, for sure. Um, so your car is getting some changes, some upgrades, some fixing. Is there any other changes going on in your program in general?
Um, People, yes. I'm changing some crew people around. We had some issues last year, and I'm fixing that. With anything that you do, there's always growing pains, and I'm learning that. I mean, these guys that have been doing this for 10 years, dude. It amazes me how well they have that stuff down. Like it's a lot, dude. There's a lot of logistics to all this.
Oh
What
yeah,
track you're going to go to, when you're going to run out of fuel, what track will you need tires at, and all of that depends on how many rounds you go. And of course, when I do it, I guesstimate rounds by I'm going to win this event, I'm going to win this event, I'm going to win this event. So
yeah.
I have tires shipped to the next track, or we pick them up or whatever in that kind of deal. So we might have to haul them for a couple weeks if I suck, but we've gotten pretty good at doing the logistics part of it, which is a ton of time. The
Oh yeah.
merchandise, there's so many things to do, like merchandise, what t-shirts you're running out of, what sizes you're running out of, who's going to run that, and then new designs. And that's just the merch part of it. Then you have oil and fuel and tires and consumables, stuff that you go through. And then forget the car. You have the rig and the trailer. And like we went through, I think I was in 2 trailers last year. We totaled one and ended up buying one, having it shipped from California to Pennsylvania. Dude, it was insane. And then we raced out of the totaled one for the weekend and then had
Yeah,
the other one parked next to it. And we literally spent all night moving stuff. It was nuts, dude. But we made it
man.
work.
Yeah, hell yeah, that's the most important thing.
Yep.
Um, so you talk about your crew changes a little bit. I know Lee tuned your car.
Yep.
I'm sure he's coming back again to do that
Yep.
this year.
Yep.
Talk about now. I know it's a little unique. I don't think there's too many people that do it, but he does it remotely, right? On race day, he's not actually there. Talk
Yep.
about like the challenges of having your tuner not actually be there compared to like if he was there.
Well, there's actually pluses and minuses of it. The pluses are you don't get emotional about it. I send him the weather and how the track information he wants, and he non-emotionally, he doesn't even know who I'm running, puts a tune-up in the car that will go down the track. And that's the plus part of it, because then you get all up in your head. Ryan Martin's in the other lane, Kai Kelly's in the other lane,
Yeah,
Peter Nova's in the other lane. You're like, oh my god, what am I going to do? Um, that's kind of cool for me because I don't have that element. Um, the bad part is even though the weather might look good or the track might look good, somewhere in the middle the track's shitty, and if he was there he could see all of that. So my job as a driver is to explain that, hey, it felt kind of this way or that way. And we just have great communication. Lee and I work really well together. He knows that car inside and out. And that car knows him. I think she's got a personality of her own. Uh, the car, she's bad. And she likes to be noticed for that. So she did a really good job for me this year. Like I have never been down the track so many times. Just clean passes, clean passes. Towards the end of the year, we got a little greedy. I think Lee and myself both got a little greedy and started like Arizona. We had just an awful time getting that car down. I was driving the shit out of that thing. Like at one point, I literally braced to hit the wall when I was racing Jim Howe. I was pedaling it at the top end of the track, and I thought for sure I was going to hit the wall. It had to been inches.
right. Yeah,
But I figured that's the side that was already screwed up. So if it did scuff the wall, like she's already going in. So
yeah,
we came to win, and we went to the finals there. We sure tried to prove it. So
yeah, for sure, man, for sure. I tell you, but whatever you had going on with Lee and whatever setup you guys got, obviously it works. You know what I mean?
yeah,
There's no big issues going on there.
yeah, he's a badass.
Now I've seen I just had David Gates on last week, and he is switching his combination next year. And this is about that time where everybody talks about switching and combinations, everything like that. But I feel like all of the Pro Charger guys like yourself are just waiting to see what the rules are going to be coming out next year, because there's been huge talk about, are they going to add weight to the 136? We saw that the screws are probably going to go to 98 overdrive for the year. Do you anticipate any big changes coming from any of the combinations for this year?
No, I think that they'll probably add a little weight to the 136. I don't know if they'll add weight to the 136 and take weight away from the 140 or how they're going to do that. I don't know. I know that they gave the screws 98% because that's what they were running in Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously it worked. Justin won there. And Kai was in the semis. So, I mean, two screw cars, two Pro Charger cars. It's a pretty even match, really.
Yeah,
But my car works so good. I I don't want to try and reinvent the wheel. So, Pro Charger Power has always been something where we're at. Like we ran it in Top Dragster, Top Sportsman. I run it in my shop truck. Like it's pretty reliable power and pretty hard to beat.
yeah. No, I would agree with that, man. It just seems like, from not personally not knowing a whole lot about anything to do with motors, it just seems like Pro Chargers always like updating their stuff. They're always like, year after year they're coming up with new stuff. They're like, the technology's improving, and not like I'm hating on screw blowers or anything like that. But I don't know what else you could possibly do to a screw besides like let it turn faster. I don't know. Just seems like,
Well, and screws are the C rotor is just so much freaking money. I mean, used ones online are 30 plus $1,000 a piece.
wow,
And like I think I saw Disco saying he's got three of them. I mean, and I know Justin's got a
Birthday.
couple. Shit, he's gonna do a rental program to rent one out.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't blame him. Like I don't, but yeah, um, yeah, I don't know. It's everybody's changing. I saw Jim Howe saying he was going to make some changes for U.S. streetcar or U.S. street nationals in Florida. I think they're going to try a new combination out. It's hard to say, dude. Everybody says this and that and shows up with
Yeah,
what they show up with. So
right. For sure. For sure. So let's get into it, Nate. Last time I had you on the show, I had to look back. It was like in August. This was like before you even started winning any races. So I haven't even talked to you and interviewed with you since you won a bunch of races. So um, let's talk about your first win. Your first one was in Ohio. I actually witnessed it in person. It was cool to see from my point of view, seeing you as a rookie, win your first event and becoming friends with you. So talk about your event win, your invitational win in Ohio, and what it meant to you and the crew.
Uh, dude, it was a big deal. We were scaring the shit out of it for a few races. Like, we went to the finals. Uh, let's see, where I finally started getting tired of it. We kept going 2 or 3 rounds, but I could never like finish anything. And it was the weight in the car, and the only way to get the car any lighter was to we put a 136 on it, and we tried to take advantage of that 100-pound weight break. And we that was after Ohio or Idaho, and I was 3-0 or 0-3 against Kai. He just kept kicking my teeth in, and I got tired of it. And so I was like, dude, I'm not here for participation trophies. Like, we need to figure this out. I want a real one.
Yeah.
And so we went to Denver. That was the next race after that, and I blew the shit out of my engine. Like, we missed it completely. Um, New rods, pistons, sleeves, you name it. We ate it up. And valves. In fact, I had one of my customers and a friend of mine, his dad used to race NHRA. He was there helping us rebuild the heads. Um, yeah,
Wow.
Brozovic. So yeah, it's crazy, dude. But so anyways, we had a horrible time in Denver, and then Vegas is when it started turning around for us. We went to the finals for the grade 8 against Sean. Went to the semifinals, lost in the semifinals by inches, and the guy that we lost to won. So then it just started turning around and picking up and picking up. Our first win was a big one for us. That was Dragway 42 was our first one,
Yep.
and we actually that's the night that we went red at the grade 8, and
Yep.
we watched the video, and it shows 8 frames of green before I let go of my button. My tranny brake button is hooked to my reverse lights, and so you can see when I let go, and it was green. But you know, everybody was playing by the same rules. We were just faster at it. I know a couple other guys went red that night too, and the same thing.
Hmm.
They fixed it for Saturday, and we just piled through it. I think we went to the finals against Sean, and it was literally like his camera shows like this much.
Yeah.
uh, it's crazy, side by side, almost 200 mile an hour,
Uh,
and win by a margin like this. It was
yeah.
fun.
Yeah. That was awesome to see. You guys were that was kind of your turning point. I think of the season, Nate, because like you said, in Vegas, you went to the finals in the grade 8, and then Ohio, you won, and then 2 weeks later in Michigan, you got your second win,
Yeah, 131.
invitational win.
And
Yep.
we went to the finals at the grade 8 there too. And I had broke some parts, and in the finals in the burnout box against Kayla, so she got grade 8. And then I really wanted to sweep one really badly, and
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just couldn't get it done. We were close, but I just couldn't get her done.
Right. And then I believe you won the grade 8 the following week in North Carolina, I think.
Yep.
But that was a good run there, and it kind of like switched your whole season around for you basically. I know you talked about getting down using the 136 and getting weight down, but you personally have got weight down throughout the season as well. Talk about that. Like, that's pretty, to me, that's really big dedication. Like, it's one thing if you're trying to get weight out of your car and you reach a point where you're like, I can't take any more weight out, but you're like, what else? How else can I lose weight? Well, I can lose weight myself. Stop eating. You know what I mean? Like, talk about that, man. Talk about doing that to gain the couple more pounds, you know?
Well, my car couldn't get to weight. And so I was 214 at that point, probably the heaviest I've ever been in my life. And you'll see it next Monday when it airs on TV. I watched the opener for that, and I'm like, holy shit. But yes, no, I've lost 34 pounds.
Nice.
Uh,
Nice.
some of that was due to stress and running my ass off. Like, dude, I'm telling you, like, I know everybody had to do the same thing, but in order for me to do this, I had to go home and go to work. And
Yeah.
you know, my daughter's at home, and I'm sure as shit not gonna watch her grow up through the phone. So I would work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I would fly out Thursday. We're in Montana, so it's 2 flights anywhere I go. Um, we'd fly out all day Thursday. We'd set up Thursday night, race Friday, Saturday, tear it down Saturday night, fly home Sunday, work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I did that for 2 months straight.
Jesus. Man.
It was miserable. I also started eating differently, and you know, cutting pop out of my life, or trying to anyways. Occasionally, I don't
Hmm.
drink coffee, so occasionally need a little caffeine. But yeah, I lost 34 pounds. The car lost some weight, and we started cooking. She really turned around, and um, it just, the car worked really well. That Proline power is badass, as you know.
Right.
But
Yeah.
yeah, we made a lot of changes. I made a lot of personal sacrifices to, you know, not feed my face as much, so that my
Yeah.
car would be faster. You know, when you're bracket racing, you're right at that like 9-0, and you're gonna go, oh, I could go 899. Well, if I lose 5 pounds, you know, your car could go
Yeah.
faster. Well, that's no joke. So I
Yeah.
mean, we proved that.
Yeah. Hell yeah, man. That's dedication right there. I mentioned you winning the Michigan race. Talk about the uniqueness of that race, because I think that was the first time of the season that you guys experienced that much rain, and that kind of combination with the cold weather. I mean, you didn't race Friday. Friday got canceled.
Yep.
Saturday, very, very late at night, is when they did the first round, or they did the grade eight that night, and then they did the first round. But then Sunday, you guys were racing the finals in the middle of the day, and it was it was cold, like 40 degrees or something. Talk
Yep.
about racing in that kind of weather, especially on no prep, and just how much horsepower it adds to you, and how much tuning's got to happen. All about that stuff.
So Friday there was so much rain that there was actually a swamp in our pit. Like, we actually went to Lowe's and bought sheets of plywood to lay down underneath our pit mat, because it was so muddy and so gross that, like, you
Man,
could feel the board moving like this when you were walking into the trailer. It was a
jeez.
ton of rain. Um, Lots of moisture in the air. It got super cold, dude. I left my race pants in my hoodie on the whole time. Uh, it was crazy. It was cold. It was misting, and then you'd go, 2 cars would go down, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh no, it's starting to sprinkle, and then you'd have to wait 2 more cars to go down. It was like just trying to hustle our ass, and everybody from production to racers to crew guys, we were all tired of it. Um,
Yeah,
you know, uh, we actually ran first round eliminations for the invitational
on
that
Saturday, right?
Saturday night. Yeah, so we
Yeah.
raced into the darkness. First round of I think I had disco that time, but first round, and then went on Sunday. Change all your flights. Do you want to talk about a miserable setup? It cost me almost $2,000 to change every one of my, because I fly 5 people in, so
Yeah.
it cost me
Wow.
almost $2,000 to change all my flights, and people were supposed to be at work. Oh, it was a bad deal, dude. But
Wow.
we got the win. I mean, it was Kai and I in the final, and it was neck and neck. He was going to eat the wall. I was going to go in the center line, and we ended up getting that win for number two.
Yeah, no, and talk so you're right. Saturday was the first round. Saturday night was the first round of Invitational. And then
Yep.
I think it rained again that night, I want to say, or
Yeah, it
and
did.
but then you start the next day, you start at like 11 a.m. or something like that, and there's no test passing that. Like you just go right into the second round. It's like
Yep.
from night to day, and then weather change. Holy man, like there had to be some guys not, it had to be tough to figure out what kind of tune to put in, I would say.
That's when you prayed for a later number. But
Right.
you
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
wanted a later number. I think both lanes were probably pretty good there. We went down both lanes pretty quick. Um, but it was really just trying to hit and miss. If you looked up, you didn't dare look up. There was clouds everywhere, like black
Yeah.
clouds. It was like, dude, we're not gonna finish this. And we ended up getting through it, and we
Yeah.
got the win. And solidifying that second trophy was a big deal for us.
Right. For sure. Right. That's awesome. Let's get into some of your stats for the season, Nate. Your total stats. So you finished second in invitational points. You finished fourth in the grade eight. You won two invitationals, which in Ohio and Michigan, and you won one grade eight in North Carolina. Um, all doing this, you went to six finals throughout the season. Um, so as far as individual seasons, especially for a rookie like yourself, you really can't ask for much better of a season than that, I wouldn't think.
No, we had. I wanted so much more, man. I'm telling you, like we had some hiccups. I wrecked the car at Steel. We were I think one of the only two people that could catch Kai in the individual championship, and I think it was Sean and I could both catch him. And when I wrecked, that was it for me. So we didn't get that. But we we worked our butts off, man, and to have somebody come out and tell you like, oh, this is gonna be, just have a fast car and whatever. Like it's everything. It's your whole program. It's the people who are with you. It's not just that even. It's the people who are behind you. Like Proline having rods and pistons and doing racks for me, and M&M sending transmissions to the racetrack, and LAT drop shipping pallets of oil to this track or that track. Like Pro Charger turning our stuff around from servicing it so fast. I mean, Robin Roberts was taking Pro Chargers there and having them serviced and brought back to us the next race. Like it was absolutely insane. And without all of those things, you can't do that.
Yeah.
Um, and so we just had some good people in place, and um, we swung at it, and it worked really well.
Yeah, for sure. Um, did you expect? Now I know you ran futures the year before, season before. Coming into the season, did you expect there to be as much, like really as much competition at the top as there was? Because as far as this past season went, there was the most different number of winners for Invitational, most different number of grade eight winners. Like it was the year of more than like three or four people. I remember watching the matchups, and every year you see, okay, well, Ryan and Kai is a tough draw this one, or Kai and Swanstrom. But this past year was like Nate, Ryan, Sean was up there, and all of a sudden, you know what I mean? And then Robin, and it was just like, man, every draw of every round, like there's some big names drawing each other, and it just seemed like every single race was like that.
Yeah, you didn't. I'll be honest, dude. You didn't want to underestimate anybody. Like it was crazy. There were so many fast cars, so many fast cars. Murder Nova's car, dude. I honestly think, did he get the most improved veteran or whatever award?
Most improved, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you that car was neck and neck with me every time we raced, and we
yeah,
raced a lot. Um,
yeah.
I think between him and Clay Cole, that race in Texas with Clay Cole, it was literally inches. Like you can just barely see blue um, in front of my car from the camera. It was crazy.
Wow. Yeah. And speaking of Sean, you guys kind of for a period there, like two or three races, you guys are racing each other either in the finals or the semifinals of like two grade eights, two invitationals. Kind of made like a little rivalry there. Speaking of the veterans like Sean, how was it like? How were you treated? You're one of the rookies coming in this year, and you're hanging with the top guys. You're doing what people don't expect you to do. How are the veterans like Ryan and Sean and those guys, Kai? How are they treating you? Are they like intimidated at all? Are they like I don't know. I want to bring this guy into the group. Like how did you get treated by those guys?
I got treated really well by most people. there was a few people on there that I didn't expect some of the stuff that happened, which you guys will all see on the season. Um, but Ryan was awesome. Jeff Lutz, I see Jeff in here. Jeff was awesome. Dude, that guy, poor guy, welded my headers every other race. Lutz Jr. I was honestly, by a few people, I was taken in under their arm, um, and really made me feel like I was part of it. Last year when we did futures, we did that from the gravel and the dirt way out in steel, and I couldn't have felt more secluded last year.
Yeah. Yep.
I nobody knew me, and um, I didn't know them. And I think once people get in here and realize that my resting bitch face is just a bad thing I got from my parents, uh, I'm really not that bad of a guy. So I think these guys, got to know me and my personality and what I'm about. And um, I'm glad. I hope that that's what got them to take me under their wing. But there was only a few times from a few people that. Uh, I had issues with this season. You're going to see that Robin Roberts was one of them in Vegas. And then we ended up being on a team and winning a championship together. So that was awesome.
Yeah.
So it just goes to show that even if you do have these issues, these guys are human too. We're all human. We all say and do dumb shit. And we moved forward from it. So, but yeah, you'll see that this season on the show that I think there's a lot of shadiness going on and friends that aren't really friends and stuff but we try to be friends with everybody. I am what you see. Like when you come to my pit, you've been to my pit. When
Yep.
you come there, like I will give the shirt off my back if somebody needs it.
For sure.
The transmission out of my trailer, the oil out of my trailer, whatever somebody needs, we're there for it. So
Yeah.
and we got some of that stuff from other people. I mean, Ryan helped us out a bunch. Like I said, Jeff Lutz literally welded my headers every other weekend. Um, I got parts from people. I loaned parts from people. I mean, it's just everybody was really good to us, really.
That's good, man. I'm glad you had that kind of experience. That's awesome.
Yeah.
You brought up the team winning a team championship this year. So this was the first ever No Prep Kings the team deal this year for a team championship. And like you mentioned, I think we'll get to see on the TV show when it comes out. It's actually come out in 2 weeks. It airs on January 22nd. But we'll get to see, I think, maybe some friendships that aren't really real friendships, and it just the team aspect really brought a whole different thing, the whole different look to it. But we'll talk about when you got traded and how that all went down. But you actually got traded towards the end of the season to Team Ryan's team. Talk about being on Ryan's team for that short period of time and how it was to be on him, because it was him, Robin, Giuseppe, and Bruder. That was the four. That was your four teammates. A lot of
Yep.
veterans on that team. Talk about being on that team with all those veterans, and then obviously as Ryan as a leader of that team. But also, did you feel any pressure because you were you were traded and brought in to get some points for that team so you guys could win the championship? Talk about that.
You know, this is a really good topic because it kind of caught me off guard getting traded. We, I was at work again on a Monday or two. No, shit, it was a Wednesday. Just got done with the auction, and Daddy Dave calls me and he's like, "Man, I want you on my team." Or he goes, "You know why I'm calling?" And I was like, "No, I don't. Why? What's up?" And he's like, "You really don't?" And I'm like, "Dude, I got work to do. Like, what do you need?" And he's like, "Well, I want you on my team." And Bodie had told me, he's like, "I would never let you and the other guy go. Period. I just wouldn't do it." And which it was rightfully so. I mean, we were literally going rounds almost every weekend, and so we came to the conclusion that I was going to be traded to Daddy Dave's team, and he, anyways, kind of shysterous way of getting me to pay for me to be on his team and stuff like that, instead of the team paying for me to be on his team like Ryan's team did. It was me paying to be on his team, and I wasn't going to do that. So I got a hold of Bodie. Bodie told me, he's like, "Dude, 10 grand, I don't give a shit where you get it." He goes, "If I get 10 grand, you can go on whatever team you want." So I actually called Ryan,
Nice.
and I said, "Hey, listen, dude, like, I would love to be on your team. I'd love for us to go win a championship. And there was a reason I called Ryan and I didn't call Kai and I didn't go with Daddy Dave. I didn't want to be handed a championship. I wanted to earn it. And I thought if I get traded to Kai's team right now, they're already in number one. Like,
Yeah.
I would have, what did I earn? You got traded
Mhm.
and you still won. Congratulations, you know?
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
and so we were in third place and we ended up in first. And I think Kai's team was in first and ended up in third. So clearly it was a better purchase for Ryan. The weekend that they bought us and we did the trade, I won that weekend. That was the weekend in
Michigan. Yep.
Michigan. Yeah. So that was a good investment that weekend. And
Right.
we just kept, we have a consistent car. I'm not saying it's the fastest car out there. We have a fast hot rod, and I do what it takes to make it fast, and so does my crew, and so does Proline, so does all these guys. Like, they're behind us 100%. I've said a million times, if I didn't have the backing I had and the people I had behind me, I wouldn't have done as well as I did. The reason I did so well is because logistically, the people behind me had my back, and that's what it takes. So,
Hmm.
but back to the story, I get traded to Team Ryan. Bodie had issues with his car and getting
Yeah.
parts and stuff like that. So it was just some races he didn't have a car there, some races he wasn't there. And I'll tell you what, there is nothing keeping Ryan Martin from being at a racetrack. Nothing. Like, he wrecked
Yeah.
a car and he had the red one there the next race. Like, it's the
The
dude
next
is
day.
bad. Yeah, he is. He's badass. And to be honest, like, I got to give credit where credit's due. When I was watching this, like everybody else sitting at home on TV, um, I looked at Ryan and I just thought, God, dude, that guy is a stand-up dude. Like, he just is. Having a conversation with him, he's humble. He's a hard worker. He's not afraid to do what it takes to win, test, do whatever he's got to do, and he's there every race and does it. And so I actually modeled my setup after him. That's why it had a Proline engine in it. That's why it had
Mhm.
all the parts that it had, was because I saw he had his shit together, and that's what I wanted to do. Um, so yeah, I mean, we just Richard saying Ryan had his car at the track 4 hours later. Yeah, I think they were
Yeah.
testing. I think they tested on Monday.
On
Um,
Sunday, they tested the Fireball on Sunday
yep,
after he had crashed on Saturday. Yeah.
yep. I mean,
That's
dude,
crazy.
that's dedication. I don't care what anybody says. That's dedication.
Yeah.
Uh, so anyways, we get on Ryan's team, and that team, dude, was badass. Like, they legit are behind you, want to know if you need anything. What can I do to help? Um, Even like the Bruder brothers, dude, that son of a bitch can cook. Let me tell you, every time, because dude, if there's one thing I failed at this year, it was feeding my crew guys because we were so busy. It was production and turning the car, and it took us longer because I am not a professional mechanic, as it's been pointed out to me. So I'm not, and that's why I paid to have the people there, and we still struggled a little bit. But I feel that the people that had my back at the racetrack and off the racetrack is the reason we were able to do what we did. So
Hmm. Yeah.
we get to go. We have uh, all of the races together. I think I was with them for what, 3 or 4 races, 4 races,
Hmm.
I think, and it was probably some of the best times I've had. But I can tell you, I would have rode Bodie's team to the end. I would have. Bowman, dude, I have not met a more genuine guy in my entire life than Mike Bowman.
Yeah.
That guy, Denver, when we blew our engine sky high, he knew I could not make first round of the Invitational. And he's like, man, I'm going to bring Mike. He literally put his car under a cover that was already hurt, and he could have fixed his. And he
Hmm.
came over and brought both of his crew guys. We put 2 rods, 2 pistons, 2 sleeves, and rebuilt the heads and put my motor together and made a pass that night, all because of him.
Yeah. That's
If,
amazing.
if yeah, if I couldn't have had his help, I wouldn't have done any of that.
Right. Yeah.
So that's awesome. I didn't even think. Um, A couple of the guys were over honing cylinders. Bobby was over there helping. I mean, it was just, dude, it was great. And honestly, the whole racing really felt like a family there. Like everybody wanted to help everybody. Didn't matter what team you were on. There was some bad blood between people, but for the most part, it was really awesome.
Yeah, that's good, man. I know. And you brought up Mike, and I got to know Mike a lot, really good this year. And the conversations we had and stuff, he's just a really genuinely awesome dude. And like
Dude,
you
I
said,
love that
he
guy.
would give his shirt off his back for anybody. So
Legit would. I absolutely love that guy. If he called me and needed anything from me, I would jump.
yeah,
He's a badass guy. But like I said, going back to it, I had a great team to start with. Team Bodie was a great team. We did really well. Shit, we were in second place forever. But
yeah,
going to Team Fireball, like I'm gonna tell you right now, the guys there uh, were badass. Um, just a whole team atmosphere. What can I do to help? Shit, when I wrecked that night, Robin Roberts gave me the rear tires off of his car and put a new set on his car. He gave me the rear tires off it because we didn't have another set and they had flat spotted. Um,
oh
yeah, Larry Larson, dude, that guy legit. I owe that guy a lot, and I'm going to repay him. I don't know that I can repay him 100%, but he literally was full of carbon fiber from grinding the front end of my car for hours to get
man,
that thing put back together. Fiberglassed it. I don't even know what time we got done, 2 or 3 in the morning. Let it dry, and then Dan and I taped it in the morning. But it was crazy the amount of people that actually just jumped in and said, "Hey," they were bringing over tires. Kayla Morton's crew brought over a set of wheels. Bowman's crew came over and brought over a set of wheels. I ended up borrowing the exact wheel I needed from Jerry Bird, and dude, it was just awesome. And I'm a nobody, dude. These guys have been doing this for a long time, and I come on the show and here they're like, "What can I do to help you?" It was amazing. It was a real humbling
yeah,
experience.
that's good, man. That's awesome to hear. Um, and while we stay on the team subject for a minute here, so this was your rookie year, and so you went through the draft. Did you ever imagine starting this No Prep King season 6 that you would get drafted in the first round of the draft, being a rookie, and then end up being on the championship team when it's all said and done, and earning points for the championship team and helping the team win the championship? Did you ever? Oh, and in the meantime, they're getting traded for 10 grand. Did you ever think any of that would be possible?
No, and I'll be honest with you, man. Um, Draft night, I was so nervous that I was even going to get picked. Dude, I was like sitting back there going, what if nobody picks me?
What
Like
if
I
nobody
really
picks you?
thought like third round, or I was hoping by third or fourth round, like somebody'd be like, "Hey, we'll take a gamble on this loser." That's what I was really hoping. And when Bodie said, he goes, "Not a lot of people know this guy yet, but I think you're about to." And he goes, I pick Nate. And I'm literally looking around. If you watch the video, I'm looking around like, who the hell is Nate? Is there another one? And then he says Sayler, and I was like, oh shit. um, it caught me way off guard. I was kind of
Yeah.
beside myself. I had no idea. Uh, him and I had talked about it, and he said, "Man, I'm gonna pick this guy first and this guy second." And I said, "Man, you should do that." And he uh, I don't know what, that last pass that we made in Ohio that night was stupid fast. Like we made one of the fastest I've ever made in that car. The last grudge race by ourselves. Ryan made a stupid fast pass and I went right behind him, and it was like, holy shit. And I think that's what, brought all that on. But I'm super
Yeah.
grateful for that. To be first round number 4 pick was a big deal for us. To be fought over that I want him on my team. No, I want him on my team. And to have somebody pay $10,000 for me to be on their team was a big deal. And
Yeah,
then
man.
to go from third to first and win, um, it was sweet.
Yeah, that's awesome. What were your thoughts about the whole team thing? Obviously, there's been talk that it could go away, but I wouldn't. It's all rumors at this point, and you never know with Street Outlaws what they're actually going to do until it happens.
You
Do you think?
you
What were your thoughts about it?
You don't, but I was told from the higher ups that we won't ever do a team thing again.
There you go. There you
That
have
it
it.
is that it is going to be individual. And I think a lot of the guys prefer that. I think the teams were good because it brought up a lot of different elements in. It brought Team NOLA on with Team Cali and Team Cali on with Ryan Martin and all this stuff. Like it basically like Heinz 57 everything together, a little bit of everything in there. And I think it was good. I think it helped with camaraderie. Like if you look at Justin and Jim Howe, like those two hated each other's guts, and he ended up picking Jim Howe and John Odom, like to be on their team. It was crazy. Like I think that when it came down to it, everybody's will to want to win vetoed the oh, I don't like you because you got a big mouth or whatever. So
Yeah. Yep. No, I think you're right. I think exactly when it came down to winning, I think everything went out the window, and it was just how can we win? Obviously, trading for tens of thousands of dollars, everything. But
yeah.
so let's talk about next year, Nate. Now I know we don't have a schedule yet. It's always waiting on the schedule, and always waiting on the rules. Two things to just wait for it.
Yep.
But you could probably guess it's probably going to be a lot of races, just like the last 3 seasons have been. Um, how are you getting mentally and physically and emotionally prepared for another probably at least 15 race season again?
Man, I'm scared to be honest with you. I mean, it's last year doing what we did took a lot out of me. It was expensive. It beat my rig up. It beat me up. It beat my car up. And I'm hoping that it's not such a rigorous schedule as it was this year. I hope that they give us a little break. I've been told that we probably won't start till end of March, early April. So I'm hoping that's the case, and I hope that that's what happens. But to answer your question, the stuff we're doing differently is I am just crossing my T's and dotting my I's. I'm trying to make sure I have enough parts, and the hard part is people. Like last year, I had a lot of people left their whole family all year long for me,
Yeah. Yep.
and that's why I get super cranky when people are rude to my teammates or my crew guys, which are my teammates, because these guys like leave their family and their children and their lives to come help me chase a dream that's my dream, not their dream. It's my
Yeah.
dream. And to do that was a big deal for me. And it really showed who had your back and who didn't. And a good friend of mine says, words are words. Words are just words without the actions that to coincide them, and that's no joke, dude. People can say, "Oh, hey, if you need anything, let me know." It's when you need something and you let them
Yeah.
know. That's the part that's a big deal, and so I found that out a lot.
Yeah. I know you had
Somebody asked
sent
how
someone.
many miles they put on my rig. I put
Yeah,
33,000 miles on my rig this year.
man. And how many miles did you fly? I thought you sent
It was
me a picture the other.
200 and something thousand miles I flied. I was in 13 different cities just in Delta. I flew to 13 different destinations just on Delta, and that doesn't count United or American or the ones that we drove to.
Wow,
Yeah, it
that's
was
crazy.
crazy.
Holy man. I'm sure you've set some goals. You had set some goals for 2023, and I'm sure you crushed all of them. What is going to be your main goal for this season?
Um, my main thing is to do things smoother. Lee tells me all the time, smooth is fast. Because when something felt super smooth, I was like, dude, that just didn't feel that fast. And he's like, it's probably the fastest pass you've ever made, according to the data. And he says, smooth is fast, and that's what I want to do with our program. I want it to be as smooth as possible for everybody involved in it. I want to be able to go out there and let go of the button and not worry about the rest of it. And so I'm hoping that the changes we're making this year to get ready for 2024 are going to help us do that. the people that we're tying ourselves with, Quick Performance, they called me. Profusion, we got some fun news about that'll come out here soon. Profusion out of Florida. Fred Craig and the guys over there, badass to us. Are getting some really good partnerships, and those partnerships are what's going to allow us to propel forward and able to hopefully back up what we did.
Yeah. Hell yeah, man. That sounds good. Um, so season 6, we mentioned a little bit. Season 6 is supposed to air on January 22nd, so 2 weeks from now. This will be your first time, Nate, seeing yourself on TV.
Man,
And
I saw the one at PRI, and I was like, "Holy shit, he's fat." They say the camera adds 10 pounds. I think they're full of it. I think the camera adds 20 or 30. But you'll see me slowly over the year losing weight. That'll make me feel better. But no, it'll be my first time seeing myself on TV.
yeah, and now you said you've been a fan of Street Outlaws for a long time, and you've watched the show, and you know how, and you know now racing in it, and I know going to all these races and meeting people and becoming friends with people, that the show doesn't necessarily portray certain people in how they actually are. Are you worried at all about how how the reality TV show is going to portray you, or are we actually going to see like the real Nate Sayler? Do you think?
I don't think I gave him any choice but to see the real me. At least I hope, anyways. We tried to stay true to who I am. I told everybody, all my friends and family, that from the beginning that I don't want to go out there and act like something I'm not. So I'm just a used car salesman from Montana, and that's the way I act to everybody. I've been told that that's a bad thing. I don't know, man. I wouldn't change my job if somebody said you can have any job in the world. What would you want to do? I would do what I'm doing.
Yeah,
So my dad told me when I was young that if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life, and I do. And so it's a great deal. But I don't know that they can portray me any different than I am. I'm really scared about Vegas, to be honest with you. That whole deal with Robin Roberts. There's going to be a lot of bleeping in that one. It's the one time that I got back to the trailer and I was like, yeah, I said some bad, like I was pissed, dude. There's one thing I don't like I preach to my daughter all the time, and I tell her, if you have to cheat to win, you don't win anything.
yeah,
And you'll see some things coming up about cheating this year. I think I was the number one protested car. Um, and Vegas was the first time, and then Michigan when I won. Actually, I was protested too. That'll be a fun story for everybody to watch. I hope they portray that to what it was.
yeah.
Um,
No, I got you.
but no, it's I stayed true to who I am. Just a guy from Montana, runs a business the way I think I should. I'm trying to raise my kid the best way I can, and I just went out there to try and show people that anybody can do this. And anybody that's watching this, like I literally was you guys. I was sitting on the couch watching Monday nights. My daughter would be like race night, and we watched. She'd write a list and put names down, and of course I'd let her pick first, and she'd pick all the pretty cars, and of course Ryan Martin. And so yeah, we we loved it, and anybody can do this if you want to put your money where your mouth is and come out here and try it. I think that anybody that has the determination we had this year could do what we did.
Yeah, that's a cool story, man. From fan to on the show to driver on the show. That's pretty cool.
Yep. And there was a
Um,
lot of people that I saw on TV that I didn't think that I'd be friends with, that I actually were some of my favorite people.
yeah,
Um, and it's crazy. There was a lot of friendships that I had this year that I didn't anticipate, like Ryan and Sean and uh, Chris Michaels and Giuseppe and even Robin Roberts. Like I literally I felt like a friend to them, and I hope they knew that I was a friend to them. So
yeah, cool, man. That's awesome. Um, as you know, I all my shows I usually come with a couple stats for you that you might not know.
okay.
I but I know I've told you all your millions of stats you got, but I came up with I saw one tonight that um so it's just, did you know that yourself, Ryan, Kai, and Sean We're the only drivers out of the whole season that finished in the top 5 in both the Invitational and the Grade A. So that's
That's
pretty big.
exciting.
That's pretty big territory right there. That means you did well. You top 5 in both. Both you didn't do. You didn't slack in one or struggle in one. You were good in both of them. So it's pretty big names to be up there with.
Yeah, dude, to be up there with any of those names is a big deal to me. So
Yeah,
yeah,
for
I
sure.
guess I didn't look at that. I didn't look at that stat. So thanks.
Yeah, for sure. And then to go along with that stat, I got a question for you because you've won. You won 2 invitationals. You won a grade A. You were both a bunch of finals. For you, which one do you think is harder to do? To win an invitational because it's 5 rounds, um, and it starts in the daytime and ends at nighttime, and there's weather change and all that stuff. Um, or is it harder to win a grade A because you get one test pass, then you got to race a really fast person? Like there's not like a race your way in guy in the first round. There's like the top 8 guys right there on Friday. Which one do you think is tougher to do?
Mentally, the grade 8 is way tougher. Um, Dude, when you're standing in that half circle every weekend, we were in the grade 8 a lot. Like we were up there in points, so we got to do that. And I got to tell you, like standing there, standing across from Sean Ellington and Ryan Martin and Kayla and all of these guys that are just the baddest of the bad on the property, and to be there with them is one thing, but to know that you're going to draw one of them, like there's no ducks, there's nobody that's slow, there's nobody that's not going to have their shit together. Like these guys are the baddest 8 people on the property. And Sean and I raced a lot in the grade 8, and every time, dude, my hands, like I don't really shake when I get in the car. My hands would literally shake because it was literally inches at the other end every time.
Yeah, yeah. Y'all
And
have some close races.
but yeah,
Yeah,
but I would honestly say the grade eight's worse. The invitational is more fun and upbeat. There's way more drivers out there, and you're like, oh, look, oh, that's gonna be a good one, you know.
yeah,
In the grade 8, it's nobody wants to draw anybody.
yeah. For sure, for sure. Nate, if you want, we'll take a couple questions from people
Yeah,
in the chat box. So if you're in the chat box right now, post a question for Nate. While we're waiting for some, you can see the comments, right, Nate?
yeah, yep.
Okay. I want to ask you, Nate, while we're waiting for some questions. What do you think was your most enjoyable moment from the 2023 season?
Um, Kentucky was fun. We went to the finals. Uh, Even though I didn't win, we went on the roller coasters. Like I took some of the crew with me, and we went on the roller coasters. Like it was just really cool um, to feel like part of the family and to have a good time out there. And when you roll through and people are like, "Hey, Nate," and like fans and stuff like that, that was probably the biggest part. Is the little kids that would come over. Um, and take one, hey, can I take a picture with your car? And then I'd put them in the car and give them a free t-shirt and do that. Like kids are my thing, dude. I missed my little girl so much that every little girl that walked by I think got a free t-shirt.
Yeah,
um,
nice. Yeah,
but honestly, it's the friendships that I made. It's the issues that I had with some people that we ended up turning out to be good friends. It's honestly the camaraderie of this thing that, I mean, that's why you go to the racetrack anyways. They always say you have your race family. This is no joke. 99% of the people here are your race family. So
yeah, for sure. We got some questions
Chris
here.
wants to know about the new shirt that's coming out. I'm actually going to come out with a new shirt that's hashtag just a car salesman or just a used car salesman. So
Yes.
look for those to come out. We're going to have those come out. I'm proud of what I do. I work my ass off. The people that work with me work their asses off. I'm not ashamed of that at all. So yeah, that's the new t-shirt that's coming out. What was I
Nice.
protested for? Vegas, we were protested for the length, not the length of my pecker extender. It was the how far it hung
Height.
down.
Yeah.
Yep. So it's supposed to be 3 inches off the ground, and ours was not. And he was right. But the Robin Roberts that was protesting me, his was also not legal. So because we turned on the Win, like we got that. Mine flopped around. I can promise you, it's at Jeffers getting that fixed. Period. Like it will not flop around. It will be solid mounted. We won't have to worry about that this year.
Nice.
The second protest was in Michigan. Actually, that first night against God, who we run? Disco. And somebody that I didn't think, which you guys will all see this, but somebody that I didn't think would try and stab me in the back tried to convince me to put a bigger blower on my car. We had broke the blower in the burnout on the grade 8 earlier, and I didn't have a spare. I only had one. And they said, this person comes to me and says, you should put the bigger blower on it. Just don't say anything. It'll just add a couple more pounds of boost and, win and then figure out something tomorrow. But if you race us, I'm going to protest you. Well, I'm not a cheater, so I didn't do that. I went to Robin Roberts with my tail between my legs, and he gave me a 136. And we put that on the car, and I beat Disco. Well, their crew had went over to Disco's crew and said, hey, he didn't have a spare. You should probably have him checked at the weight thing. And that's what they did. They checked us at the scales, and I'm not a cheater. So my Pro Charger was exactly the way it should have been. And we got the win, and I got paid $1,000. So you guys will all see that too. A lot of people's true colors are going to come out, and you'll see that.
Someone wanted to know what your favorite track is of the season.
I'm gonna have to say either Kentucky. God, that was beautiful there. Like we were pitted right in the trees, and they had at the end of this track, they had this little area over there, and it was full of fireflies. And dude, I'm from Montana. I've never seen a firefly in my life in person. You see them on TV, and it was just fireflies everywhere, and it was black. It's looking like it's black. I can't even explain how dark it was, and all you could see was fireflies. So that's probably my favorite track was Kentucky.
Cool. And that's not a big. I've never been there. That's not a big track, is it? That's the kind of
No,
like a.
we were all jam tight, and it was just a family thing. It was fun. Manny Alvarez, this guy that's I don't know the guy's name, but he sat out there till 2 o'clock in the morning with it cranked to the moon, and just rattling the windows in my coach. And dude, that was probably the worst part of that track, but the track itself was probably my favorite part.
Nice.
I'm not seeing all these questions, are you?
Yeah, it's a lot of pecker talk since we brought that up.
Yeah.
Gilbert Torres wants to know if you could speak on your background of racing prior to No Prep Kings.
So I started racing when I just had a driver's license. We had a '73 Dodge Dart, and I actually I think I still have the picture of me throwing up in the staging lanes because I was so nervous. Dude, it's horrible. We still own the car today. We still own it. It's got a Hellcat engine in it now. It's a little 275 car, but I grew up bracket racing, and actually a friend of mine here in town had a car with a Proline engine in it, and I got a taste of that, and it just went south really quick and got really expensive. So then I started racing Outlaw 10.5, Top Sportsman, Top Dragster. Like I went big, and I loved it. The faster we could go, the better. And that's kind of that's where I met Bodie. Actually, first was in Vegas at Streetcar Super Nationals. I met him racing Outlaw 10.5 and Big Tire No Time with my CUDA.
Cool.
Yep.
Nice. That's cool. We'll do one more question here, Nate. Brandon Allen wants to know the story on your car, the background of your car.
The Nova?
Yeah, the Nova.
I'm probably not going to make a lot of fans when I say this, but I'm a Mopar guy at heart. I am a Mopar guy. I can't help it. My dad he worked at Highline Dodge when I was a kid. And it's just in my blood. I still own a bunch of Mopars. I still drive them. But I took my 68 Dart, which is now my small tire car that you guys seen on my page. If you're not on my page, you can go on there and look. But I had a 68 Dart that I took to Larry Jeffers. And that was going to be my No Prep Kings car. Steel roof quarters. It even had a steel removable front end on it. And Larry gets in it and he's like, dude, I can't put a 36-inch tire under it. I'm like, really? And he's like, not without modifying the shit out of it. And I said, well, I don't want to do that. I want it to look like a 68 Dart.
Yeah.
And I said, so what's funny is if you take your hands and you cover up the front and back of a Nova, it still looks like a Dodge Dart. So, I mean, it does. And don't nobody hate me for it. But the 67 Nova is my favorite Chevrolet, period. Like it is. It's always has been. It's probably the lines because it looks a lot like a Dodge. I just like that old school muscle, and so that's what I built. The color on it. Another reason people are probably not going to like me. It's a Mopar color. It's actually granite crystal metallic, which is the color of my Hellcat, and it's also the tire of or the color of the top of my 68 Dart. That's my new small tire car that's at Jeffers right now. So there's a lot to do with the car. The colors mean a lot to me. The car means a lot to me. And that old girl, I'll tell you what, she worked her ass off this year. I'll have that thing forever.
Nice. That's awesome. I didn't know any of that. That's a cool story.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I did see one that I wanted to. I can't find it now. Well, Nate.
The Bowman girl said hello. Hi guys. We miss you guys.
Yes, a lot of people have been saying hello. I just.
I know I miss it. It's going so fast on my screen. I can't read them. But I see B-Rad, little B-Rad's in there. Hey, buddy. Doc's in there. Man, I got to tell you, dude. Like, people.
Richard Rowe.
Yep. I really thought, like, that I wouldn't. I really thought that I wouldn't like some people after watching them on TV. I said this earlier. Some of those guys were probably the coolest guys. And I just really appreciate all of them for taking me under their wing and showing me what this can be fun and that you can be good at it. And it was a big deal for me. It was a huge learning experience. And yeah, I'm just super grateful.
That's cool, man. I know I can tell you it means a lot to you, and I know just getting to know you throughout this whole season, man. You're a great stand-up dude. Everybody says nice things about you. So I hope, obviously, the TV's going to portray you in a good light, and just show that what you say is what you mean. And you were there this year to win. That's why you were there. So so congratulations on a great season. As always, thank you for coming on the show and doing an interview with me.
Yep,
it was fun. Thanks everybody for coming in and watching this. And everybody have a good night, and I'll talk to y'all later.
Guys. Hey, if you're not already, go on Nate Sayler Racing, give us a follow. We're trying to reach 10,000. So
yes, Nate Sayler Racing on Facebook. Follow. Share with all your friends.
Thanks, guys.
All right, guys, take it easy.
Bye.